everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever in the world you are connecting from. I'm doing this impromptu ChatGPT session. I started doing this yesterday, just literally for 20 minutes that I had available yesterday, and well, I wanted to do it today again. Just because number one, I'm having fun doing it, and number two, I think that it's a useful conversation to have around how to use ChatGPT for HR. So evidently, I am hoping that not only do we have a little bit of fun, but at the same time, you walk away with some very practical insights about how to use ChatGPT. So for those of you who are connected online right now, thank you just for joining us in this impromptu session on ChatGPT. My name is Enrique Rubio. I am the founder of this Hacking HR community. I'm going to ask you a couple of favors or a couple of things. Number one, let us know where you're connecting from in the world. I just want to see what everybody is. Number two, if you want to share this live session with your audience, there's a button in there for you to be able to share. And if you have any questions today about what we're going to be working on, please just let me know. Just post it in the chat and let me know. It's going to be a short session, 15, 20 minutes, and that's going to be it. Sometimes I say 20 minutes and it ends up being like 45 or something, but it really is going to be like 20, 25 minutes or so. I'm going to ask you all a question, and I'll begin here actually, to sort of kick us off. Let me know in the chat, say yes or no, whether you are, not only do you already have a ChatGPT account, but whether you are using it on some sort of a regular basis, let's say a couple of times per week. Say yes or no to whether you're using ChatGPT right now, maybe up to a couple of times per week. I would love to see if you are using it right now. And if you're answering yes, just wait a few seconds and then tell us what you're using ChatGPT for. And I'm going to tell you something before I share my screen to do an exercise together, real time, an exercise that I haven't done before. So we're going to be figuring it out together. But a couple of things that I want to say is this. Number one, the ChatGPT will never be the final answer to all the problems that you may be dealing with in your work or in life or whatever it is, right? ChatGPT will help you become more efficient, find information, craft messages, run some processes and whatnot. But the final message here is that ChatGPT will not give you the answer to all the problems, the solutions to all the challenges that you're dealing with right now. Always the best case scenario will be when you as a human are working together with ChatGPT, and well, together you're producing something that is more awesome than what ChatGPT or you alone could produce. So make sure that whenever you're working with ChatGPT, you are adding your critical thinking and your curiosity skills to the table, because otherwise, if you use what ChatGPT is giving you as a response to your questions, if you use that as the final word in the land, well, you're making a mistake. And if you decide not to use ChatGPT, I think you are missing out on some pretty powerful tool. So number one, then just think about the fact that ChatGPT won't be the answer to everything, but it will definitely free up some of the time that you may be using right now to do some of the work that you may be doing. So make sure that you're using your critical thinking and your curiosity skills. The second thing is this. Very often when you use ChatGPT, and you will see now, we're gonna be doing this exercise on developing a career management framework and a competency model for a small to medium-sized enterprises. So if you have any questions about this, please make sure to post it in the chat. But this is what you're going to find. The more general the question that you're asking ChatGPT, the more general the answers that you will get. So that's the way to go. If you're asking somebody, a human, a very general question, expect to get a very general answer. So it works very similarly as if you were having a conversation with another person, even though ChatGPT is not a person, but it works very similar to that. The more context, the more information, the better and more refined and specific your questions become, the better the answers you will be getting back from ChatGPT. So if the question is very general, prepare yourself for a very general answer. If your question is more specific, specific and more targeted, and you provide some context, then the more targeted, the more specific, and the more contextual the answer that you will be getting from ChatGPT. This is very, very important because you may get disappointed if you come to ChatGPT and you expect to spend, to just use, I'm sorry, 5 minutes of your time on ChatGPT, and you ask very general questions and you get very general answers, and you think, well, this is not as potent or as powerful as I thought it was going to be. Make sure that you are using critical thinking, curiosity skills, that you provide context, information, data, targeted and narrowed questions so that ChatGPT can give you the right answer for the kind of questions that you may be looking for. Final thing before I share my screen with you. I said this yesterday when I started doing this impromptu ChatGPT session, which I'm doing just because I'm having fun doing it. But I'll say it again. When I started using ChatGPT, I didn't want to use it actually. So I'm in the cohort, the cadre of people that didn't want to use ChatGPT because we thought, well, this is a hype and whatnot. And then I started using it in March of this year, and pretty much the first thing that I asked it, maybe after like 2 or 3 minutes, I was like, whoa, this is really different. This is really powerful. And ever since March to the day, every single day, for something, I use ChatGPT. Sometimes it is something as simple as helping me craft an email that can be, say, I don't know, I'm writing like a reference letter for somebody, or I'm writing an email to ask a speaker to join us in a session. So something very transactional, very easy like that, to some more developed questions. Like, for example, I want to develop a learning program that revolves around, I don't know, data analytics and culture for large enterprises. Can you help me craft the learning agenda? So you can tell that these questions are very different from each other. One is very transactional, one is much more strategic, but ChatGPT has helped me in both cases. Always, of course, bringing my human element, the curiosity and the critical thinking skills. So all right, I want to share my screen right now, and we're gonna do a little bit of an exercise. So if you are connected right now and you have used ChatGPT in the past, say yes to the question whether you're using it right now, up to maybe a couple of times per week minimum, and let us all know what you're using ChatGPT for. All right, I'm going to share my screen because we're going to be doing an exercise in here. So it's very small. You will see it in a second. The screen will look very small. So I'm hoping that you can, you're looking at this from a computer or something, so that you can see the entire thing. But this is the exercise that we're going to be using. We're going to be learning ChatGPT, and the practical use case today is developing a career management framework and a competency model for small to medium-sized enterprises. So this is the first thing that I'm going to ask. Imagine that you were the director of HR in a large enterprise with, I don't know, 15,000 employees, and you find an amazing job that is leading HR in a company that only has 500 employees. So you're coming from a director of HR in a very large company to leading HR in a very, not a small company, but in a sort of a small to medium-sized organization. And this is a new organization. You are tasked with creating a career management framework and a competency model. So because you may not know how to do this, because you're coming from a very large enterprise where all of these things were already in place, you're going to come to ChatGPT, and maybe the first question that you're going to be asking is this. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I'm doing this real time with you, by the way. So make sure that you ask your questions in there so that I can bring them here to ChatGPT. All right. So I am, let me just provide some context. I was the former director of HR for a company with over 15,000 employees. I recently got a role, or joined a company in the capacity of HR, let's say Chief Human Resources Officer. The company has, I don't know, 500 employees, and I am tasked with designing a career management framework and a competency model. How should I start doing this? I'm going to ask a very general question. How should I begin? How should I start this journey? I don't know, very general question, this journey. Imagine having this, 50 years ago or something like that. Super powerful. By the way, I am using ChatGPT model number 4. I am connected with Bing as a plugin, so it may be giving me some real time or updated data. If you This is only available for the paid version. If you're using the free version, you can only use the model 3.5. Or I actually think you can use the model 4, but you have up to like 20 messages per hour or something like that. So I'm not sure, but you know, regardless of whether you have the free or paid version, maybe one takes more time to develop all the context that you need to provide, but hey, it's still going to be um, relevant. I'm looking at somebody here saying that they use ChatGPT to research for a personal trip. Hey, whatever works for you, right? I mean, I haven't used it for a personal trip yet, but I'm sure it gave you some pretty good ideas. So that's a good use, by the way. Like about a couple of months ago, I don't know why, I don't even know where I was. I was thinking like, how many trees are in the world? Like when you're not doing much and your mind wanders to these strange places where you ask yourself this, out of context, out of the blue questions. So I asked myself how many trees are in the world, and instead of going to Google, which I could have done, I went to ChatGPT and I asked it, and it was something like 3.4 trillion trees in the world. So anyway, silly things like that you can ask, ChatGPT. All right. I asked the question, I provided a little bit of context, and I asked the question about how to go about the designing a career management framework and a competency model. So it's giving me some different information, different levels of information here. The first level was understanding the current scenarios, or doing an organizational analysis, a stakeholder engagement, and a benchmarking and industry analysis. This is fantastic. Designing the framework, second stage. Developing the competency model, career management framework development, and integration with whatever already exists in terms of HR and operational processes. Third stage is implementation and communication, pilot testing, communication and training, measurement and continuous improvement, scalability, seeking expertise and continuous learning. So you got a little bit of a blueprint here to begin your journey to developing a career management framework and a competency model. So I'm actually going to dig, we can choose whatever we want from here. And I don't know, I'm going to dig a little deeper into the benchmarking and industry analysis. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can you please explain more about what you mean by doing benchmark? We already know what that is, but I want to ask it either way. By doing benchmarking and industry analysis, what should I consider for this, and how should I go about it? Should I go about it? So we're doing this real time, by the way, with all of you. Let's see. Certainly, benchmarking and industry analysis are crucial steps. The blah blah general thing that when you ask ChatGPT a question, I already know what's going to add at the very beginning of each answer. The landscape of businesses, this is a crucial thing. This is very important. This matters. So very general kind of answers at the very beginning, but then you start getting more information. Again, the more data you provide. So now we get a blueprint at the very beginning, and now we're getting a second level of information. So now we're getting a breakdown of benchmarking and industry analysis. So it's telling us this is what understanding benchmark and industry analysis looks like. Then identifying benchmarks and industry standards, data collection, analyzing benchmarks and industry trends, engaging with experts, customization. It's giving us a bunch of different things. I'm going to ask it, I don't know if it's going to be able to respond to this question, but I'll ask it either way. My medium company, works in the, I'm going to say here, telecommunications sector. What are some of the competency, let's ask this question, right? Competency model benchmarks for a company of 500 people in the telecom sector. And I'm going to add a little bit more. Located, I'm going to add now, and I'm going to add another piece of content. I don't know if ChatGPT will be able to provide an answer for this, but I'm going to provide this additional piece of content. Now I'm going to say in the telecom sector, in the telecom sector, and the company is located in a Latin American country. You could say whatever you want. Let's see what it says. I don't know if it's going to provide a contextual answer to this question, given the context that I just provided, but hey, who knows, right? Maybe you get, say now it's going to Bing. This is very interesting. I didn't expect this, to go to Bing to find an answer to this. So let's see what it says. Still developing the answer, is browsing. So I'm hoping that we don't take a lot of time on this, because otherwise I'm going to have to stop this and go to another question. But this is very interesting. It didn't have an answer, perhaps, and it needs to just browse for information on Bing. I don't know how much time this is going to take. I don't know what this thing is reading there. Let's just give it a second, okay? So everybody, for those of you who are using ChatGPT, I see some yeses in the, I see some no's in your comments. Wow, somebody's connecting from Fiji. Hello. I think I lost the some of the comments that you were making before. So this is taking a long time. So I'm going to stop generating right now, because I don't want to spend a lot of time in this. All right. So, if you have the patience to wait, of course, wait to see the answer that it provides, but maybe I'm going to provide a different kind of question to make it easier. I'm going to remove the context of the sector, the region. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep it general. My medium company works in the telecommunications sector. What are some of the competency model benchmarks for a company of 500 people in the telecom sector? Let's see if it gives us an answer. So see, now it's providing an answer that doesn't require it to go to do some browsing. It was browsing before because I provided the context of where the company was located. This was very interesting, by the way, because maybe it didn't have an answer in the database, so it needs to go to the internet to find if there's some information about this. So now it starts giving me some extra information about this, competency model. Technical proficiency, regulatory compliance, innovation and adaptability, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to stop generating right now, and maybe because I said that this was going to be just 20 minutes, I'm going to ask it just one more question. Maybe I'm going to ask it I'm going to ask it a more general question again. How should I prepare the business case for my company leaders, senior leaders, to present the proposed career management framework and competency model? Let's see what it says. How should I prepare the business case for my company senior leaders to present the proposed? All right, and it's giving me, of course, again, some general information here. But again, the more questions you ask ChatGPT, the better the kind of answers that you will be getting back from this, and the more contextual they will be. Anyway, I'm gonna stop generating for now, because all I wanted to do, all I'm doing with this is using some cases to just let you know how powerful this can be. And again, some of the answers that we just got were very general answers. Some of the answers will be more contextual. For some for some questions that we're asking, maybe ChatGPT doesn't have the answer. I need to go to the internet via Bing to find the answer. The ultimate point that I want to make in here is use it. Use it because it's really going to help you. It's really going to give you ideas. It doesn't have all the answers. It's not the final answer to your questions and your problems and your challenges, but it can help you either craft something that you need to do at work, or at least think about things that you may not have thought about before. So this is a pretty powerful tool. I'm going to continue doing these sessions. It's some practicality behind it, very light touch practicality. But I am hoping that for those of you who said no, that you're not using ChatGPT, I am hoping that you go and open your account. You can use a free account, and you start playing a little bit with it, because it really will help you significantly with most of your tasks, most of them. And in most of them, it will give you enough information to make it much better than if you were not using ChatGPT. All right, everybody. I hope for those of you who are in the evening, almost night, have a good evening, good night. For those of you who are tomorrow, for me, in the morning of Thursday, have a good day ahead. So thank you so much, everybody. I will see you all soon in some of the events that we do here in Hacking HR or in the next impromptu ChatGPT conversation. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.